Maybe that's what this show should be called, huh? Not Live with Love, but or thereabouts. Anyway, I am Love. It is a pleasure to meet you. It is a pleasure to have you here. Apologies, I needed a little extra time. We were talking about the eye of the storm the other day, the other live that I came on here for. And yeah, I definitely feel like I'm in the eye of that storm. Or I was, or I am right now. I'm not quite sure. But I'm glad that this live is working. It seems to be working. So I'm just going to give it a couple minutes. I'm going to pull a couple cards and make sure that people can hear me okay. So again, I am Love, and what this channel is about, this channel is about showing up. Me showing up for you, you showing up for yourself, and finding those little tidbits of inspirations or epiphanies, or just kind of switching up your thought form about what you're capable of. Because you, my friend, are capable of so much. We are capable of so much more than we think we are. And we're more resilient than we think we are. I'll say that too. I had a moment before I came on live and I was like, I have options right now about how I want to feel in the eye of the storm. And this wonderful short came on by Kate Hudson. And it had all to do about basically defending her mom. Like, stop talking about my mom, basically, right? Like, she's a beautiful person. This is who she is. She's not trying to be anything else. And on it went. And in that moment that I was choosing, remember the previous live, which will be available after this live, by the way, because I will go through and I'll save everything for you guys. The previous live was a little bit about, we had a card that came talking about the easy breezy path, the easy breezy way. And I went on to say an example that I had during my solar return of my birthday, how I decided to make that easy breezy. Not make that, but see that as easy breezy. Even though by all other like external perspectives, if someone saw the different elements of my day, they'd be like, what are you talking about? That's not easy breezy. That's like, this happened to you, this happened to you, this happened to you. And that's where I would pause and I'd be like, actually, no, none of those things happened to me. If you switch it up and you switch into that area of this happened for me, somehow this happened for me. I don't know how it happened for me this time, but somehow this happened for me. Like, in one way that it happened for me, I just kind of thought into, okay, what am I noticing from these experiences? Okay, there are things kind of like needing to be renewed is what I'm seeing. Like, if we thought about it in energetic terms, okay, that was old energy and it needed to be replaced. That was old energy, like a lock on my wagon door. Old energy that needed to be fine-tuned, oiled up, even kind of taken apart and realigned, basically, like realigned and I don't know what you would call that. It needed oil for like the stuckness that was happening. The stuckness, there we go. The stuckness needed to be released. I was just doing this. I gave a what is that? One of those testimonials for somebody's website, saying how that the quantum healing that I've been a part of like what occurred during that quantum healing different times was a relief of this like guck energy or this stuckness energy. And that's what was happening recently with the lock on my wagon door. I was like, can this be done without having to be replaced, without having to order a whole new lock? You should have seen me, guys. I had to completely empty out the crawl space underneath my wagon and then crawl through in order to get in here and unlock the door because the lock was stuck. So again, some people would be like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened to you. And I was like, well, there's a couple ways that happened for me. It was another time where there's someone that is in my life currently that is wanting like a lot of, it can be an uncomfortable situation sometimes when people are trying to work together, but yet there are these other elements that are surrounding them. And so basically, me and this other person have been put in these types of experiences having to do with different types of maintenance that's normal on a wagon that I've had since like 2016. And it gave us another chance to work together. It gave me a chance to clear out like a whole garbage bag full of what I thought I needed as like garage items underneath that storage space. Off it went, right? So a clearing out. So we had like a greasing up, which helped release stuckness, right? Showing up in the physical world. Then we had a battery that went bad that showed up as, hey guys, how you doing? And then we had a battery that went bad in a truck, but was able to get jumped twice by two very kind people to help me out. And that was energy that needed to go. Old energy gone, new energy of a battery in, right? And then we had a clearing out, a physical clearing out of my storage space. Like off it goes, right? And it's not the only place that I know needs a clearing out in my life. So pay attention in your life right now to the physical world, because the physical world is kind of mirroring, giving you a reflection. Now, let's see. I'm gonna answer some questions. Hey, Margarita. Hey, Joe. RC. And hi, Lux. Great to have you here. Just want to say a quick hello. If you haven't been here before, this channel is about connecting to your clairsenses. I give you a little bit of scenario of what energies are coming up for you personally. If they're coming up for me personally somewhere in your life, if you are drawn to this channel, this YouTube channel, there's something here for you. So we're going to kind of continue. I have a few questions. Can you put positive energy into a crystal or something for you? I will tell you that yes, I can. I will also say that you yourself can. So what kind of crystal do you have with you? Let me know. And you were wondering if I have any merch out there. I will. I will have different types of copper necklaces that I make. And a few other things. I want to come up with some cool t-shirts. Stop shitting on me is one of my t-shirts that I've brought up a spec for. Really cool. I like it. Stop shitting. Say like I could do this, or tell a person, hey, you could try ... instead of you should try ... One is a command like you should, and the other one is could, which is more of an option. So if you tell me which crystal you have, I will show you how to energize it. Okay, so I'm going to keep overall the questions to that more. I'm going to answer more to like that energetic place. Sorry, Hiya, thanks. I'm actually going to take a screenshot of this and then check it out later, because I always like to hear other people's music, which Stray Kids. I'm not great with bands of music. I'm great with linking them up to movies a lot of the time, and unfortunately or fortunately, I'm watching less and less TV and movies in my life, and it's leaving space for so much more. So, Joe, if you're still here, you want to tell me about your crystal, I'll tell you how you can energize that crystal. So there we are. Energies are shifting. Energies are coming in that are also, they're like this, or they want to be like this. Do you ever notice that if you're not defending yourself, then it's very, not that I'm saying don't stand up for yourself. Definitely stand up for yourself, but stand up for yourself in more of a like a sovereign, I'm here, I got that. Hey, I hear what you're saying, but this, right? And sometimes we're going to try and be like, how do I make you understand this? How can I have you understand this? And they're not going to get it. They're not going to understand. Why? Because they're totally vibrating in a different resonance. I almost said frequency, but it's more of a resonance than you are. So there are energies out there, and this has come up like in another thread. Someone talked about like, I can't believe we're still doing this. I can't believe this is still happening. And what I'm just going to remind everyone is there is a breaking down or a restructuring of the old as the new pops up and takes its place. And that's happening in all of our systems right now. Check my previous video from yesterday. That'll be available today. There was a message that came through a channeling at the end when we would breathe together. So check that out and see. I'm going to open the window here. Ooh, look, that gives me more light. I like that. I'm lit up, guys. Look. So those energies that are coming in, that I'm speaking of, can be uncomfortable. Before I got on this live, I was like, whoa, man, definitely uncomfortable, those feelings, those emotions coming up. And one of the things that came in this morning was, it was called emotional alchemy. And the name struck me, emotional alchemy. Like, I like that. I have not heard that term before. I do not know if Brian Scott, check him out, if he has coined, if he's the one who's coined that, or if he received that from, he reads many books, and then he brings the processes forward in his videos. So recently there was one called, okay, now I'm going to close that until the noise goes away. Recently he brought forth emotional alchemy and meditation. And so if that sounds resonant to you, I encourage you guys to go check him out, Brian Scott, on YouTube. Part of Reality Revolution, the Reality Revolution. And he spoke, as he spoke of this emotional alchemy, I knew that at that moment it wasn't for me. It wasn't meditation for me. But I still was curious, and so I listened. Rather than participated, just kind of listened as to what he brought forth. And part of what it brings forth is this idea of, let me take a sip here. Different ways to work with those, what we would deem negative emotions. I would say that they're heavy. These heavy, dense energies that pop in occasionally into our worlds. To show us something about ourselves, to show us, like, are we being patient? Are we able to respond instead of react? These are all opportunities. What he was bringing forth was something that I saw being brought forth through quantum healing as well in this one particular technique. So this one person, Jody Teresa, you can look her up as well, and she does quantum healing in a different way than me. I'm actually thinking I should maybe like meet up with her. There's something about meeting up with her, and I've been hesitant to contact her, but I digress. So there's this technique that she brings forth at some point in the quantum healing where you're actually, we're used to energetically, in the energetic community, when we hear different meditations, we're used to breathing in a positive aspect and breathing out a positive aspect, right? I do that myself here on this channel. We breathe in, we breathe out to kind of like get centered, get in the body. And then we breathe in certain things like love, joy, happiness. And we breathe out love, joy, and happiness into the world around us, right? To fill our energetic field with those positive vibes, if you will, to recalibrate that energetic field, to seal up any holes, to mend any tears in the energetic field, to, if you were to see it in pranic healing, the rays that are shown in pictures look like those rays off like Jesus, right? When you see like Yeshua with or Mary, or like other what they quote saints, that have the halos around them with the lines, they show that in your own energetic auric field. And when they're all out like this, they're all like spread out, then it means that your field is whole and healthy and basically impenetrable. And when they're like floppy and they're like this, then like different energies have a possibility of venturing in when you might not want them to venture in. So where am I going with this? There are different versions of this. We've heard of that version. We've heard, breathe in also and breathe out the negative one, like breathe in this energy of love and release the energy of any tension in your body, or release the energy of anything that which does not serve you, right? Which is all great. It's all great. But the emotional alchemy, what it reminded me of when I was listening to this technique, was something that Jodi Teresa brings forth in her group quantum healing and her private sessions. And that is, it's the same type of emotional alchemy that's happening actually in her quantum sessions, I will say. There is a point where it's a breathing in of what we would consider the dense energy. So I will give you an example. Before I got on live here, I had a lot of emotions. There was confusion. There was agitation. There was slight sadness. And I think that's it. Possibly a little bit of anger came in, but it was really low level. It was more confusion. And you'll see that the majority of the dense energies that are coming in, always the confusion kind of comes in there and wants to like rattle things up. And from confusion, like basically that idea of like, when you're on the playground and like someone comes and does something that like makes you fall or hurt yourself or makes everybody laugh at you, if that ever happened to you, or other ways that you can either be embarrassed or confused, when like someone comes in and like feels like they pull the rug out from under you kind of thing, then it's a confusion, and then all these emotions come with it. So during her technique, there is a point in there where it's a breathing in of, say it was confusion or frustration or anger or sadness. It's a breathing it in and then a breathing it out. And why is that different? There's definitely some difference in the alchemy that is happening, because a lot of the time we're trying to avoid those emotions. We talk about in the spiritual community, the word bypassing comes in. And as these emotions were coming in, and other emotions have been pretty like high up this week, actually, when I really think about it, there's been a lot of uncomfortableness, is the way I'll put it. Uncomfortable type emotions that have come up that I've had to navigate through. And one of the meditations I listened to, there was someone talking about, it could have been Brian Scott, I'm not sure. He just seems to be coming up a lot more recently, and there's a reason, because I'm working with my quantum field, I'm working with switching of timelines, so I'm back to his teachings, or not his teachings, but what he brings forth. So basically, we will, when those things arise too, another way of bypassing or trying to get us back in our flow is bombarding ourselves with like I am affirmations, like constant I am affirmations, to like get us into a new tune, a new frequency. But another really great way that I got to practice because of all these up and down emotions was this technique of breathing in Say you were breathing in unworthiness. That's what was coming up for you. You breathe it in, you're accepting. You're not condoning it, by the way. They're two different things. You're actually accepting that it's there. You're acknowledging that it's there. And then on the out breath, you've acknowledged it and you've released it. I had something happen like that with a message before I came on live. I'd asked for a certain thing. That person said no. I explained why they didn't quite have the right to say no on that because it involved something with me. And then that person decided to like give me partial acknowledgement. And I looked at it and I was like, I have nothing more to say. I'm just going to say thank you. I have nothing more to say. I'm grateful for this partial, whatever you decided that was comfortable for them at the time to allow, basically. That's the only thing that was comfortable for them to allow at that time. So I can't really do anything about that. There are steps I could take, but I'm not that person. I'm just not that person. I'm not even a person to like the whole like withholding thing. I will draw back and I will reassess things and I will see like, okay, where are my boundaries needing to be? But otherwise, I'm a different type of person than that. So just like an example of a different way to work with energy on this channel, in your life. What emotions come up for you on a regular basis? Maybe there's anxiety. And as the anxiety comes up, that creates more stress in the body because you can feel it in the nervous system. And possibly some of you have tools how to work with, not deal with, but work with the anxiety to be able to release it from your bodies. But this would be one way. This would be a way of breathing in. Breathe in the anxiety. And then you breathe out the anxiety. I thought it was a great technique. I also have a way about me, even as like in the world of hair that I've been in, hair and waxing for many years, that idea of seeing this technique and seeing that technique and seeing this technique over here, and then knowing my technique and being like, all right, how can I make my technique yummier? how can it bring more satisfaction in my life and bring more satisfaction to other people's lives by incorporating different ways and creating my own way of doing basically what everybody else is doing, because we're all like here working with people energetically, but nobody's going to be like me. Nobody's going to be like Jody. Nobody's going to be like Brian Scott or Joe Dispenza or Abraham Hicks or so many people. Amelia Ortiz. If any of these people resonate with you, like go check them out. Activations with JJ, another great light language person. What's another one? Her name is Joanne Carey, I think. Check her out. She does light language as well. Nobody's going to be like you, like me. We're all going to have our different ways of how we bring forth the information and how we work with other people. So I'm just going to check out the comments real quick here. Matthew Lindstead, hey, it's about the heartbeat. It should be at rest 100% of the time, right? The heartbeat should be at rest. I'm curious about that. Is your heartbeat at rest when you're like super happy and super joyful or not? I wonder. I like that though. Yes, our nervous system I might say that our nervous system being at rest 100% of the time, that would be through joy. That would be through, yeah, our whole nervous system. And our heart is linked to our nervous system, right? So it's part of it all. So, see, it's just a different way of wording things, right? We're all saying the same thing. Yes, our nervous system at rest is where we belong. Our nervous system at rest is where our, like, ah, this is where home is. This is where we feel at most home in our body, is when our nervous system is at rest. Would life be interesting if our nervous system was at rest all the time? I think it would. I think having our nervous system stay in that calibrated, even state allows us to experience many emotions, and all the emotions of love, right? I was explaining to someone the other day, they're like, well, I love you, but I love you different than I love her. And I was like, well, if you really think about it, it's all love. Like, the actions we take when we're in different aspects of love, those are different, the actions we take. But the love itself is beyond words, it's beyond definition. And it's what keeps us in that neutrality state, that neutral nervous system state, and that feeling of home. Yeah, like someone's saying here, the rest that you have after a good night's sleep, where you just wake up and you're like, yeah, that was great. After a great rest of sleep, right? Or after possibly you've been in the doing of something and you've figured out something and all has come about smoothly, and it's that satisfaction that I just talked about. We get this, like, satisfaction, and with satisfaction, I will say the satisfaction comes with appreciation. Usually, so gratitude, appreciation, then comes satisfaction, then it's like, aha, like it all feels good. John Rick, hey, how you doing? I radiate the divine feminine. Thank you. Thank you very much. There's been a lot of work on the ability to keep that balance between my feminine and my masculine, because I'm very handy. I'm a very hands-on. I can fix things if somebody shows me. I like to see the inner workings of things, and I like to work with other people. Collaboration is very fun for me when others, like, want to collaborate too, right? And work with each other instead of like that, right? Like, come together, meld together, and work divinely as one, right? Which can happen not just in divine unions, but in divine friendships, divine family members, divine soul family. Just completely like, yeah, let's work together. Let's make some magic. That's part of what I'm working with on this website, that I feel like it's taking longer than it should. And then I get this message a couple days ago of, a rose is not forced to open. A rose is allowed to have each petal unfold at its own pace. So then I have to come back here and have to be like, okay, stop thinking that you have a certain time frame for this, and go with the flow and pay attention to how much time that you would like to give certain tasks in your day, right? All right. So if that resonates with you, if you feel like you're on a tight time frame for something, you feel like, why isn't this happened already? And sometimes there has to do with energy being stuck. So I ask myself that as well. Like, where is there stuckness, or where is there an overwhelm? And, like, how do I move through that overwhelm? What is needed at this time? And it usually happens to be, like I have someone here mentioning ADHD. There's definitely yourself small tasks as you move forward with something. The moving forward is important, but it doesn't have to be huge leaps and jumps. Sometimes life calls for that. Other times it's like, okay, I can do this today, and then I can do this today, and I can do that tomorrow. And I have this list that I make. Sometimes you guys see me like writing on my hand. Generally, whatever I write on this hand gets done. And you can really only comfortably fit 5, maybe 6 things on this hand. And then otherwise I have another list. And then I look at that list that day, generally, and the things that didn't happen the other day, I would write on my hand to do for today. Like what things are needed to be done and addressed, and what things need to wait. And some of that has to do with meditation. Some of that has to do with maybe I need to go on a hike. And that's what's needed instead of working on my website. It's needed like connection with the land, because the connection with the land that you have has a way of realigning everything in your body, in your nervous system, as we were talking about. And even if you give yourself 15, 20 minutes to like walk in nature, breathe in nature, in whichever way that is, even if it's like walking through a park, that resets you. And then you go back to whatever you were doing before. If it was, a regular job that you're in, a 9-to-5er, that alone will give you some sort of peace in your nervous system and some sort of indication to your inner child being that you're actually taking care of him or her, that you're actually showing up and self-advocating for that inner self of yours. Because your inner self, that little kid in you, is telling you, hey, we need a break. And you're like, no, 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 no. I'm working on this right now. I got this, I got this, I got this. And this inner person, this little one inside you is saying, we need a break. We need some water. Or we need food. Or we need to do something fun. Can we do something fun? Can we make like a little football paper thing and like flick it around in the office and see who catches it? These are all things that pop up for us to check in with us, and self-love, self-regulate. I'm gonna look at the comments here. The reason why ADHD is such a problem in today's life, the heartbeat feels like it's beating out of a person's chest. Yeah, I have a good handful of friends that struggle with depression, anxiety, ADHD, borderline personality disorder, which also has to do with like areas of narcissism and other personality, I'll call them more imbalances. None of these people are this, like the term disorder, right? These imbalances, they're energetic imbalances that happen in the body. And when these imbalances show up, if they're not addressed at the time that they show up, they prolong and they go and they go. And you're right, their heart beats out of their chest. It's almost like they can't function. I've had people tell me that they can't breathe. They have a hard time breathing. And a lot of the time when I'm speaking with them, or it's like an emotional support text, people who end up working with me in that way, it ends up me just reminding them, well, is that true? I said, are you holding your breath completely? And they said no. And I was like, go ahead and hold your breath. Just hold your breath for as long as you can. And they do. And then they release it out. And that right there is a release of the system. That is a way to calm down the system. It's why a lot of the time there's a certain phrase for that type of breathing, but you breathe in for 4 seconds, you take a sacred pause and hold at the top, and then you breathe out for longer, and that helps re-regulate the nervous system and the heart, the breath, and basically like gets people back in their body. Because when that thing happens where people's heartbeats are like and they can't handle it, they basically, like, energetically, this is your avatar, think Fortnite. This is your avatar. Think the Avatar movie, and you like energetically pop out. But the body doesn't just like collapse and fall to the ground. Thank goodness, right? Otherwise, we'd have people lying around everywhere, just waiting for their soul to like re-enter. The re-entry point. We're always energetically surrounded, but we have abilities to actually, there are different soul aspects of us, and we leave those in different places. So there are certain meditations out there, if this is resonating with you, that will call back your soul fragments. Soul fractals, soul fragments is something you can look up on YouTube. And it will help you when you've gone through those emotions to actually call back those parts of you, if you will. Like, call them back, bring them back in, breathe them back in, breathe them back in. To back into your wholeness, like embodied. There's a reason why we all get together here, and why we're looking for, sometimes it's solutions to how we work with our nervous system. I am not like a life coach, I'll tell you that. I know others that are really great at that, although I do assist people in other ways. It's a little bit different than life coaching. It's more intuitive energy work, and basically creating an energetic space so that the trueness of them, that, because you guys all know the truth. You guys all have a truth within you that will give you inclinations as to which steps to take. But when we're in that place of the fight, flight, freeze, fawn is the other one, the people pleasing, the fawning, that's like a big one for me, because I have a hard time, like I've always had a hard time with a confrontation, right? So when we're in those states, we can't really be in the heart. We can't really be in the body, in our breath. And that's how we get embodied, is by breathing in when we don't want to breathe in. Because I've had those moments too where I'm like, I know what to do. I just take a deep breath in, and I can hear that voice in my head like, I don't want to breathe right now. I don't want to. And that's like the tantrum kid part of us. Like, I don't want to. It's more like the egoic aspect going like, no, we are justified. We're justified to feel this way. And no, I'm going to say no. Like, there are different ways to handle those things that pop up. Let me look here a little bit. You're right. Being in your divine feminine doesn't mean you can't be handy. It's very true. I put on this dress for you guys, but for me today, because before I came on live, and there was like this short confrontation, altercation happening of confusion for me with this other person. I was like, it's like, all right, I'm going to be changing my clothes for today anyway, because I have certain clothes I put on when I move this whole truck and wagon and I travel, and don't get the clothes dirty kind of thing. Like the type of thing where I can hop on top of my hitch, I can adjust some different things with my propane tanks, and I can hop down really easy, right? It's hard to do that in a dress. And today I was like, you know what? I just had that going on, and that brought in more masculine energy, even though the feminine energy was there. And yet, I feel like I want to wear a dress. I feel like the energy I want to bring forth for this day, not just this live with you guys, but for this day, I want to bring in more of my feminine energy as well. And for me, it'll be different for everybody else, but for me, it's like, okay, how am I going to do that for me? I'm going to put on a dress. I'm going to get a little fancy. Not super fancy. If I had a tutu, I would totally wear a tutu right now, because that feels like that would be fun. I could walk around in my tutu and see what reactions people have to the tutu. I was watching, the tutu is coming up because of some 80s songs that came up recently that were fun. And it was like this whole playlist of 80s that had like, I want money, or I changed the words to songs, by the way, but it had to do with like I am money and all these other things. And these other songs that came up, and I'm like, yes, that's so fun. And then Madonna came up in her tutu, and I was like, yes, I think she was the one, either her or Cyndi Lauper, that like made the tutu come back. I haven't seen the tutu come back yet. I've seen the mullet come back, and I've seen a lot of other things come back, but the tutu, I might have to find a tutu, guys. A little ballerina tutu to walk around and have a little fun with. With some like really bright tights on. Okay. Terry Scott says, Jesus loves me, and I'm a beautiful soul. Thank you, Terry Scott. I appreciate that. I love Yeshua. Yeshua's grandmother, Mary Anna, whose mother Mary. I love the whole history of the Essenes. I love it. I love that whole background. Where am I from? I am currently in Colorado at this time. I was in Arizona about a month ago, traveling without my whole studio, so I wasn't taking any silent haircuts at that time. So if you're currently from Colorado, I am available for appointments here for silent haircuts and waxing. And if you're interested in that, you can just email me. Yeah, email me at, I'm just going to say love@onecocreation.com. love@onecocreation.com. That email is going to be changing because I'm looking into other email systems, but currently that's the one you can get a hold of me for. But I did start out my life over in the Midwest. Look at what my hair is doing. It's really strange. Over in the Midwest in the Illinois area near Chicago. So I have a great love for the Great Lakes. I have a great love for any lake, any water. I'm always drawn to water, or I'm always led to water by myself or other people that are traveling with me. I love it. I traveled with this great person and went to all these different hot springs from Colorado to Utah to upper Northern California, and it was supremely amazing. All right, I don't see any more questions. I'm going to go ahead and pick a couple cards and see what comes up for us. I'm going to clear the space. I don't always do this, but I did this beforehand. Let's clear the space. Take a deep breath in. And release. This bowl that I have always wants to be hit before I get on live. And it's kind of big, so I might start kind of playing with bells to clear the space. But it is a bell. It's just a very big bell. All right, I'm going to pick some cards. Does anybody have anything in particular that's coming up for them? Because whatever's coming up for you at this time, whoever's seeing this live or on the replay will benefit from it. Let's see. Yeah, John Rick is talking about cycles, moving in the cycles and the rhythm and the bloom. Yeah, that's beautiful. Hey, Summer Sue. Where are you from? So if anybody has a particular something that they've been working with or trying to work through, a particular question that can put in a form that would assist everybody. How about that? If you can't do that, I can usually do that as well. But if you have a particular question, as I go through these cards, I'm already feeling into the question. This has come up. This has come up before. Wow. Secret Sanctuary. Here we go. Secret Sanctuary. Retreat from the real world and find your happy place. Rejuvenate the heart, soul, and spirit. Find your sanctuary. Sanctuary. What am I getting from this card? We talked about the mirror effect of reality, what's being mirrored to us. We have the higher perspective up here. And then we have the reflection in the pool. So this might be for many of you. Retreat from the real world. Find your happy place. As we talked about the easy breezy trail, that the easy breezy trail can be created by you, depending on how you want to respond to daily life interactions. There's a better word than situations, right? Interactions with people. Interactions with people can have contrast, which can feel very dense or can feel very light, right? Interactions. I like that too. Your inner world, your inner actions. Okay. Does anybody have a question? No, they don't have a question. Okay, so I'm going to choose another card and ask, is there more? Is there another message as we call in our different guides of the ascended nature? Ascended guides. Is there another message? This came in the other day as well. Interesting. When I first brought out this deck to use with you guys, these are the cards that came up at that very time. Here we have definitely Divine Feminine. We've got the lunar aspect. We've got a flower down here. Different type of flower. To me, that looks very iris. We also have images in the background. Can you see that? You are celebrating the realization that you are finally leaving trauma and drama behind as you have transformed your life story. The rising Kundalini energy within you has been awakened to use for personal freedom, creative joy, beauty, healing, and spirit. Celebrate. Celebrate has totally been coming up, guys. Celebrate. Celebrate good times. Come on. Let's celebrate, man. Yeah, that was part of my 80s list that came up, was celebration. And that's been coming up for a couple weeks now, to celebrate the new you. You are new, even if you don't feel like you're new. It's happening. It's happening on a cellular level. There's another, quote, comet coming between the Earth and the Sun, in this place. I want to say it's around August. No, it can't be August. I think it's earlier than that. Like this month. Yes, this month. I don't know where August came from. It came up from some sort of other file in my mind. This month, I believe, at the end of April, there is this particular comet that, kind of like 3i Atlas, that came by, which was a comet but not really a comet. I think something similar with this too. This one is going to be bringing energies, specifically like within the tail of the comet that's coming by, and it's going to be smack dab in between the sun and the earth, bringing different energies to us. This happened with 3i Atlas. 3i Atlas brought different energies for this golden age and brought forth some sort of shifting and changing in the waters and the land of the earth, amongst other things. This particular comet will be bringing forth its uniqueness as well. It'll be interesting to see if there's anyone actually channeling the energy of this one that is going to be arriving as well. Or 3i Atlas was very unique. There were a couple channelers actually tapping into the energy and asking questions of 3i Atlas. If you look back to channelings of 3i Atlas on YouTube, you'll find a couple different ones, so they might be very, very beneficial to you. Hey guys, okay, looking for questions. I look like the blonde singer from ABBA. Awesome. Awesome. Is this astrology? Is this astrology? No. I enjoy astrology. I'm not an astrologist. I don't like have that background, but I do work with oracle cards, sometimes tarot cards, but mostly oracle cards. And what these cards are mainly for is to tune into like what energy is here. So when you set an intention, if you've never worked with different types of cards, you set an intention for something in particular. If you have a question in your life, that's why I was asking anybody here. Is there a particular question that someone has been asking themselves for a while but hasn't had very much clarity on? Because if you ask a question, I can shuffle the cards with the intention, I create the energetic space, and that answer will come to you in some way. It could be a direct answer. It could be an answer that you just take with you in your day and you're like, how does that apply to my question? And you just become curious. The more curious you become, as opposed to doubting or judgmental about a certain thing, the more curious you are, where you see it from a childlike aspect of like, wonder what that's all about, with no real attachment to it, that answer will come right to you. And you'll be like, oh, aha, okay, aha, that's what that was all about. Okay, I see how that works for me now. Like, I see how that can help me shift this habit or shift this belief or help me in my life somehow. So these cards don't exactly work that way, Tony. Will my allergies ever get better? So unknowingly to most people, these cards do not tell the future. They do not tell those kind of things. What I can tell you, allergies are not just related to the pollen in the air. What affects your personal system, your actual body and emotional system, because you have an emotional body, a physical body, an etheric body, and what pops up emotionally for you, allergy-wise, is most likely linked to something prior to. All of our stuff, all of our ailments, pains, etc., are generally, majority are related to something happening emotionally. And that can happen at any time in your life. And you can check in with yourself. You can check in and ask yourself, okay, when did I start feeling allergies? Was that like 0 to 3? Was that 3 to 6? Was that 7 to 9? Was that 9 to 12? You can ask yourself these questions. And when you ask yourself that question and you just sit with it and you breathe and you bring in curiosity, then, well, some epiphany might happen there about that. Sometimes it's the food you eat as well. I had a sister that at early age, there was something happening with strawberries. There was strawberries and there was chocolate, and there was no explanation for this that was happening, but she had to not eat those things to not have a skin irritation occur. But really, I would say that anxiety is where a lot of those things came up. It wasn't necessarily the food, it was the emotion that was linked to the allergy. So something to move in with, to like move through and figure out. Start testing different things. Like, if I don't eat this for a while, how is my allergy? Dairy, gluten. Sorry to tell you guys, but I've had different experiences with that myself. And there was an area of my life where there was a lot of breakouts all over my face. I got this intuition to just completely stop eating cheese and dairy and anything available and switch to other kinds of nut milks or other kinds of milks, and that all went away. After a year of that, the skin irritation went away, strangely. All right, so well, my friend, if your cats are doing all that, you just gotta find a different way. because that would be causing your allergies. You definitely want to keep everything in a clean space in your environment. So if it's not in a clean space, then that is something that's probably affecting you. I'm going to pick one more card to see what is going to come along with the secret sanctuary and the breaking free. Breaking free. What are you guys needing to break free from? Do you feel stuck? If you're feeling stuck, then that's the answer, is to go into a secret sanctuary, a place where you can feel more like yourself. Where is that? Is that getting your nails done? Is that walking in the forest? Is that going to the gym? Is that playing in the rain? Is that going for a paddle on some water? What is that for you? Is that taking a bus ride and just letting the bus take you wherever it wants to go and having no plan, and then seeing a place that looks interesting and being like, you know what, I want to get off there today, and just going with it? It might be that. All right. Some person says garlic bread. Yes, garlic bread. If garlic bread makes you feel like you're like, that's your yummy place, then by all means go with the garlic bread. Go with the ice cream, but always in moderation, guys, right? Okay, we got this that came up. We have Goddess Warrior. Embrace the shadowy demons of the earth. Embrace them. So this is a little bit of what we talked about before, right? We talked about breathing in some of those icky emotions that we try to avoid, right? Like sadness or grief or anxiety or anger. Breathing them in and then breathing it out and releasing it, right? Embrace the shadowy demons. Convert this energy into fierce determination, courage, and align with the power of your archetype. What are archetypes? Something to look up. That's a whole other conversation that we don't have time for today. But I only know a little bit about different archetypes. If you look up the hero's journey, you will find different types of archetypes that pop up, and that will kind of help you out. But right now, this card makes a lot of sense. We have all these shadows that can come up in our life, and we don't let us be overwhelmed by them. We decide, how am I going to make this easy breezy? How am I going to take what I just interacted with and take it to a different level? Take it to a level that feels nicer within the body. And we take it in by acknowledging, breathing in that icky emotion, and we breathe out that icky emotion, allowing the earth to absorb this and transmute it. This is how you perform emotional alchemy, by the way, is by breathing in and then breathing out. With one breath like that, go ahead and give it a go. One breath like that, you can feel a difference in your body. Breathe in and breathe it out. If I think to do this, if I remember, I will put in the description for this video. It'll be available tomorrow. And I will put in the link for Brian Scott's meditation on emotional alchemy. Give it a try. See how you feel afterwards, and see and feel like how you're able to work with your own energetic field. It's not just me that can do this with you. It's never anybody that does this for you. This is completely your own inner work. All right, guys. It's been a pleasure to be with you. It's been a pleasure to have your company here. Go ahead and meet up with me again, 11:11 Mountain Standard Time. I'm still figuring out a schedule, so I would say meet up with me on Monday until further notice. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And yeah, bring questions you have about certain things in your life. If you want me to choose a card for you, we can choose a card for you. If you'd like to work with me personally, you can email me at love@onecocreation.com. And I have personal sessions that I work with people over Zoom, and soon to be group sessions when my website is complete. So I'm really excited about that. There's quantum healing that happens. There is a realignment that happens. And what I do is I create a space. I create a safe space for you to work with the energetic field that you have, to sense into your own energetic field, as I also sense into the energetic field with you, and create kind of a neutral space. As the person here was talking earlier about, like, getting to that neutral place, that heart sense, that satisfaction after a good night's sleep, right? That kind of like calming down of the nervous system in a way that allows epiphanies and energies to start flowing through you. And as they flow more in your body, they flow more into your life that you create. Okay? No, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not. But the field does interest me. I've been a hair dresser, hair sculptor, working with hair, waxing, cutting, waxing, working with the crown chakra, working with different parts of the body for a long time. And I will say that that particular field has definitely helped me out for what I do today with different people. All right. I will talk to you guys later. And if you're still feeling like your energy is a little out of whack, I advise you to try that. Try breathing in what energy that is, because you can ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What is coming up? And you can name like 1, 2, 3 different things, and then just breathe it out and see how that goes for you. As always, it's a pleasure to be here with you. We are one. One light, one love, one breath, and I love you. Enjoy your day. And I will see you again at 11:11 Mountain Standard Time, Monday, Tuesday. I just said Monday, Tuesday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I have to think about that. Maybe Tuesday's a day. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Hit the notification, hit the thumbs up, share this video. It helps me a lot. That's the way you can support this channel so that I can keep bringing this content to you. And I will see you again. If I'm not here, you know why, because it's not the day. I might randomly jump on live just because, if there's a message that comes through. But keep those notifications on and you'll be alerted. I love you. I will talk to you later. Mwah.